Today we're going to make chicken parmesan. So I have one boneless chicken breast, currently it's skin on, my boning knife, a meat mallet, and some plastic wrap. So I've taken the chicken breast out of the package. I'm going to remove the skin. I make sure there's no bone fragments or connective tissue, something you don't want to eat inside. I'll clean it all up, and then I cut it into 4 fillets. Now I have plastic wrap. I'm going to take my meat mallet. And I'm not trying to be Thor with the meat mallet and just slam it down. I want to use the smooth end of the meat mallet, not the pointy edges. The pointy edges would just really are not intended for this. So I want to tap them out lightly until they're evenly thick, but fairly thin pieces of chicken. And there we have it. They're all evenly thick. Here's my breading station. I'm going to work from left to right. I have seasoned flour, which is the first step. It's salt and pepper. What I do to make sure there's enough salt in there is I actually taste the flour before I put the chicken in there. So it needs to be slightly salty. I'm going to dredge my chicken in flour, shake off any excess flour. I'm going to put it in egg wash. The recipe for egg wash is 2 whole eggs and 2 ounces of milk. The next step I don't have a rack. Normally what I would do after egg wash is I would let the product sit on a rack and drip. That way I don't have any excess moisture going into my third stage or my breadcrumbs. For breadcrumbs today I'm using panko because for the end result I want a really nice crispy outside, but I also want it to be somewhat textured because I want it to be able to hold the sauce. So I'm using a panko breadcrumb in this case. And there we have 3-step breading. There's my pan frying station. So I have my oil, my place to put the chicken once it's pan fried, or a towel to absorb any excess oil. I'm testing the chicken as it goes into the oil to make sure that the oil is hot enough. And I'm going to lay the chicken into the oil away from me so it doesn't splash me. So then it sits in the oil and browns on the one side. Once it's brown on the first side, you can tell that it starts to be look cooked around the edges. You're going to take your tongs and then flip it over and continue to evenly brown on the other side. Total cooking time was about 3 minutes. So there, it's nice and brown on both sides. I did flip it over in between, so I'm going to remove the one side. I'm going to put it onto the paper towel to dry any excess oil. And then once I remove the other fillet of chicken, I'm going to remove it from the oil. I'm going to turn the burner off, and that oil needs to sit there and cool down until you can transport it safely away. There's my tomato sauce. I'm going to put it on top of my hot chicken, or hot pieces of chicken. If you feel like you would like some more salt, that's the time to salt your breaded fried chicken as well before you put the sauce on there. I don't feel like mine needed it. So I'm topping with some a mixture of shredded Parmesan and provolone cheese. That's going to go to a very hot oven at 375, 400 degrees until that cheese melts. So I've pre-cooked some spaghetti that I made. I tossed the spaghetti with a little bit of tomato sauce ahead of time. I'm going to put more tomato sauce on top because the tomato sauce is delicious. And why not? And then I'm going to put the chicken that's been has the cheese and or the melted cheese and the tomato sauce on it, and that's it. And there's our finished plate.